The wedding invitation glows under my kitchen lights, its gold embossing catching every ray like a small sun. My fingers trace the raised lettering but stop cold at the words that slice through my heart. Adults only. 18 plus strictly enforced. No exceptions. Next to it sits Jenna's handmade card, covered in silver glitter and 17-year-old earnestness. She spent 3 hours crafting it, each sequin placed with precision, every swooping letter of Dear Aunt Camille written in her best calligraphy. The kitchen clock ticks in the silence. 10 minutes until Jenna comes home from school. A car door slams outside. My heart jumps. Footsteps on our front walk, then our porch. The door opens with Jenna's characteristic bang against the wall. Mom, her voice carries that breathless excitement only 17 can produce. Did it come? Aunt Camille's invitation? I reach for the envelope, but she's already spotted it. Her fingers close around the thick paper before I can hide it away. Let me see. I watch her face as she reads, marking the exact moment joy dims to confusion, then understanding. Her shoulders drop a fraction of an inch. She doesn't want me there, does she? The question hangs between us. 13 years ago, in the spring of 2012, I flash back to a courthouse where I signed adoption papers for a 4-year-old with weary eyes and a habit of hiding behind furniture. That little Jenna is now a 17-year-old high school student. The child who used to hide behind furniture has grown into a beautiful young woman who speaks her mind with confidence. My parents stood against the back wall, their smiles strained. Camille caught me in the bathroom afterward. Are you sure about this? She'd asked, fingers drumming against her designer purse. Single motherhood is hard enough without complications. I'd squared my shoulders, already protective of the little girl waiting outside. She's not a complication. She's my daughter. 3 years after the adoption, I met Marcus at a fundraiser. He'd walked straight to Jenna, crouched down, and asked about the book she was reading. No hesitation, no awkward glances at me to check if this was okay. Just pure interest in my daughter as a person. At our wedding, Jenna was our flower girl. The photos show her beaming in her mint green dress, and my family standing slightly apart, their smiles fixed. I told myself they needed time to adjust. Yes, I gave them time. 13 years of it. Back in the present, the memory fades. I focus on Jenna now, nearly grown, trying so hard to look unbothered. But I see the slight tremor in her hand as she sets down the invitation. It's probably easier this way, she says, voice carefully light. More sophisticated, you know? You know how Aunt Camille is about appearances. The 17-year-old has acquired adult resignation instead of the innocence of her 4-year-old self. The only thing unchanged since then is her kindness, still trying to smile even when hurt. I pick up a pen from the counter. The RSVP card waits, pristine and expecting. My hand doesn't shake as I check, not attending. The scratch of pen on paper sounds loud in our quiet kitchen. The sound of a door opening at the front entrance. The small metallic sound of car keys dropping follows. Marcus must be home, but my concentration doesn't break. A warm hand is placed on my shoulder. How was your day? His voice resonates gently. I had been standing lost in thought so deeply that I hadn't noticed how long I'd been there. My phone buzzes. Mom's name lights up the screen. I silence it without looking. Another buzz. Camille this time. Then Brianna. Jenna watches from the doorway, her expression a mix of worry and something else, relief. Want to help me make dinner? I ask Jenna instead. That new pasta you found? Her smile breaks through, genuine this time. The pesto one? Of course. Marcus says gently. I'll pick up fresh basil from the store. The RSVP card marks more than just a declined wedding invitation. It's my line in the sand, 13 years too late, but finally drawn. My phone buzzes again. I power it off completely. Mom, Jenna measures pasta into the pot. Are you okay? I look at my daughter, really look at her. the determined set of her jaw, so like my own. The quiet strength she's built from years of pretending not to notice. The talent and heart that my family has chosen not to see. I'm better than okay, I tell her. Something in my chest becomes lighter. The feeling of liberation, like taking off a heavy coat. And for the first time in years, it's not a lie. The evening sun slants through our kitchen window, dyeing Jenna's hair golden. This moment, this family, this choice, I can be certain that everything is right. Later, that same night, the cardboard box weighs more than grief in my arms as I carry it down from the attic. Each Christmas card, each photo, each handwritten note inside catalogs 13 years of subtle wounds. While Marcus works late and Jenna sleeps upstairs, dreaming of art school acceptance letters, I spread them across our dining room table. My fingers tremble on the first envelope. Postmarked December 2012. Written in Mother's perfect cursive. To Laura and Marcus. No mention of their granddaughter, though Jenna had lived with me for months by then. I arrange it on the left side of the table. Another card from the following spring. Happy Easter to Laura and Marcus. Jenna had just won the school art contest. I'd called to tell them. They never called back. The pile grows, year after year of carefully addressed exclusions. A birthday card for me, nothing for Jenna. A graduation announcement for Brianna's son Tommy that arrived 3 weeks after the ceremony. The invitation to the family lake house weekend that somehow got lost in the mail until the day after it ended. My hands shake harder as I unearth the video from last Thanksgiving. I slip it into my laptop, stomach clenching as the scene unfolds. Grandma Barbara cooing over Tommy and his cousins, showering them with attention and pumpkin pie. The camera pans past Jenna, 16 years old, eating alone at the kids' table. No one speaks to her. No one even looks her way. The laptop screen blurs. I blink hard, reaching for the next item. A school essay from Jenna's freshman year. What family means to me. 2 pages about Marcus and me. Her art teacher, Miss Chen. Our elderly neighbor, Mr. Peterson, who always asks about her latest paintings. Not one word about grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. My phone buzzes. A text from Rachel. I've been thinking about Easter. The way Aunt Barbara kept calling Jenna the girl, when she thought no one could hear. It wasn't right. I should have said something. I type back, thank you. Another text arrives. Camille this time. Mom says you're making a big fuss about the wedding. It's nothing personal against Jenna. We just want a sophisticated event. The words burn like acid. I set the phone face down, turning instead to Jenna's childhood journal I found in the box. The sparkly purple cover has faded, but her careful handwriting remains clear inside. October 15, 2014. Grandma gave everyone matching sweaters for Christmas pictures. She said they didn't have my size. March 3, 2015. Aunt Brianna's birthday party. Had to sit in the garage because there weren't enough chairs. December 25, 2015. They forgot I don't like peanuts again. Or maybe they didn't forget. The latest evidence. Brianna's Facebook photos from last month's family dinner. 18 smiling faces around a table laden with food. We weren't invited. Those posts are public, you know. Marcus's voice startles me. He stands in the doorway, briefcase still in hand, jaw tight as he surveys the table. Everyone can see who wasn't included. I kept making excuses, I whisper. I told myself they needed time to adjust, that it would get better. He sets his briefcase down, moving to examine a stack of Christmas cards. 13 years is a long time to wait for better. My phone buzzes again. Mother's name lights up the screen. Your father says you're not welcome for Christmas if you skip the wedding. Don't throw away family over pride. As if protecting my daughter were nothing more than vanity. A new email notification pops up from Brianna, sent to the entire extended family. Laura's latest drama. She's always been attention-seeking, but this is a new low. Camille's wedding isn't about her or her. I can't read the rest. My finger hovers over the delete button when another email arrives from Aunt Dorothy, the family outcast who married beneath her station 30 years ago, when she adopted a boy with intellectual disabilities. When she was furious with father for saying, "Are you going to give the family fortune to a child who doesn't share our blood?" She has been kept away from family gatherings ever since. Now she's in a wheelchair, but her eyes are as sharp as ever, never overlooking injustice. I saw what they did to you at Easter, what they've been doing all along. The same pattern that drove me away 30 years ago. Unless someone breaks it, this family won't change. The words hit like a physical blow. Marcus picks up a manila envelope I haven't opened yet. The return address shows my father's law firm. "What's this? I don't know." The words die as he pulls out the contents. Legal documents. 5 years ago, in father's office, I was told it was tax planning for the family, and signed the family trust paperwork without reading the fine print. At that time, I trusted my father. Faced with a thick bundle of legal documents, he explained, "So that everyone in the family is protected," and I signed without question. I never dreamed that Jenna would be excluded from that family. His finger traces a single devastating line. Benefits to be distributed among blood descendants only. Adopted children are specifically excluded from inheritance. The paper slips from my numb fingers. All these years, I thought they just needed time. But they had legally excluded her from the very beginning. Using my signature to do it, Marcus gathers me close as the tears finally come. What do we do now? Through the window, dawn paints the sky in watercolor shades of pink and gold, the same colors Jenna uses in her sunrise paintings. I think of her portfolio, filled with beauty despite every rejection. I think of her quiet strength, her unfailing kindness to the family that never wanted her. I reach for my phone one last time. Open the family group chat. My finger slowly touches the screen. Quietly, but surely, I sever that connection. No, I say, voice steady. We show them what real family looks like. The family's counterattack begins immediately. My phone buzzes. Mother's name lights up the screen. Your father says you're not welcome for Christmas if you skip the wedding. Don't throw away family over pride. A new email notification pops up. Brianna sent a message to the entire extended family. Laura's latest drama. She's always been attention-seeking, but this is a new low. Camille's wedding isn't about her or her. I stop reading. Just as I'm about to hit delete, another email arrives. From Aunt Dorothy. I saw what they did to you at Easter, what they've been doing all along. The same pattern that drove me away 30 years ago. Unless someone breaks it, this family won't change. A text from Rachel. I've been thinking about Easter. The way Aunt Barbara kept calling Jenna, the girl, when she thought no one could hear. It wasn't right. I should have said something. I text back. Thank you. 1 week after the wedding, in early December, Camille's wedding photos scatter across my Facebook feed like confetti. Outside, the first snow begins to fall, and the city is dressed for Christmas. Her perfect smile, the cathedral veil, the family gathered close, minus us. The absence speaks volumes. Laura. Mom's voice rings through the front door, followed by the unmistakable rattle of her key in the lock. She still has one from last year's renovations. I brought the decorations. She bustles in, arms laden with storage bins marked Christmas in her precise handwriting. The same bins we've used for hosting family Christmas dinner the past 12 years. Her face glows with determination as she sets them down. I thought we could get an early start this year. The earlier we decorate, the longer we can enjoy it. Remember how magical it looked last Christmas? We won't be needing those, Mom. What do you mean? She pauses, a glittery ornament dangling from her fingers. Of course we need them. You're hosting Christmas dinner, just like always. No, we've made other plans this year. The ornament slips from her grasp, bouncing once on the hardwood floor. This is about the wedding, isn't it? You're punishing all of us because Camille wanted an adults-only reception? No. I walk to my office and return with a manila folder I've been compiling. I set it on the counter between us. This is about 13 years of treating my daughter as less than family. Mom, when was the last time you called Jenna your granddaughter? The front door opens again. Marcus's familiar footsteps cross the entryway, followed by the thud of his briefcase hitting the floor. He appears in the kitchen doorway, reading the tension immediately. Without a word, he moves to stand beside me. The doorbell chimes. Mrs. Henderson from next door peers through the glass, holding a plate of Christmas cookies. I wave her in, grateful for the interruption. Laura, dear. She sets down the cookies with a warm smile. I wanted to drop these off and ask how Jenna's art show went. The whole neighborhood's talking about her talent. Mom shifts uncomfortably, saying nothing. Mrs. Henderson's warm smile never wavers as she asks about specific paintings, remembering details about Jenna's work that my own mother has never bothered to learn. Your father will be devastated. Mom tries again, desperation creeping into her voice. He looks forward to Christmas here all year. I doubt he'll notice Jenna isn't there. He never has before. The words taste bitter. That's not fair, Laura. We've tried. Have you? The dam finally breaks. Last Easter, you called her the girl when you thought she couldn't hear. At Thanksgiving, she sat alone at the kids' table while her 16-year-old cousins ate with the adults. Every Christmas card addressed to Laura and Marcus, like she doesn't exist. The trust paperwork explicitly excluding adopted children. The kitchen falls silent. Please leave. I walk to the front door, hold it open. Don't come back until you can respect my daughter. Mom's hands shake as she gathers her coat. You're making a terrible mistake. The door closes behind her with a soft click. I lean against it, tears finally flowing freely. Marcus's arms wrap around me. Mom? Jenna stands in the hallway. How long were you there? Long enough. She drops her backpack and slowly approaches us. I never wanted to come between you and your family, Jenna says, wiping away tears. But now I understand. I'm not standing between you. I'm standing beside you. For several minutes, we stand in silence. The emotions I've bottled up for 17 years are finally seeking release. I pull her into our embrace. As the three of us hold each other quietly, I feel the storm passing. That night, I write the email I've been drafting in my head for weeks. No accusations, just facts. Dates, events, a clear pattern of exclusion spanning 13 years. Marcus reads it over my shoulder, suggesting only minor edits to keep the tone neutral. Subject: for anyone who wants the full story. 6 pages of carefully documented evidence. No emotional appeals, no accusations. Just the quiet power of truth. I send the email just before midnight. The responses begin immediately. Aunt Dorothy calls, her voice thick with tears. They're furious with me for taking your side, but someone had to say it. What they've done to that child is shameful. Camille's next text arrives. You're tearing the family apart over nothing. I write back one sentence. Nothing is exactly how you've treated my daughter for 13 years. In the following days, the family splinters like ice in spring. Cousin Rachel stands up at Christmas dinner. I hear about it later from Aunt Dorothy. What you've done to Jenna is shameful, she tells them all. Uncle Robert sends a private message. We adopted James in 1982. I watched the same thing happen. I should have spoken up sooner. According to the Family Gossip Network, Christmas dinner was strained. Empty chairs where we should have been. Questions about our absence that couldn't be smoothed over with the usual excuses. In mid-January, as the year turns and the snow covers everything white, the first reconciliation attempts arrive. Just as the snow tries to cover and hide everything, the family also tries to cover and hide the past. Camille's text. I didn't mean to hurt Jenna's feelings. Father's voicemail. This has gone on long enough. Mother sends a generic gift card for Jenna, the first acknowledgement of her existence as a granddaughter. The envelope sits unopened on our counter. Brianna suggests a family meeting to clear the air. Her tone implies we're being difficult by refusing. I send the same response to each overture. Acknowledgement is not the same as respect. Then the invitation arrives. Heavy cream cardstock, formal calligraphy, a family intervention masquerading as reconciliation. I recognize it for what it is, their final attempt to force us back into old patterns. I want to go with them, Jenna says, watching me read it. That night, a faint light leaks from her room. When I crack the door open, Jenna is sitting on the floor with her portfolio spread out. She quietly gazes at each painting, tracing the frames with her fingertips. "Mom," she says without turning around. Until now, I could only tell the truth through my paintings. But tomorrow is different. She takes a deep breath and straightens her back. I want to show them who I really am. Art is my language. This time, it's my turn to speak clearly with my voice. The next morning, there's no tremor in her hands. At the family gathering, the parlor walls press in around me as I sit rigid on Mother's antique sofa, the one she inherited from Grandma Ross. Across from me, my family assembles like a jury. Mother perched in her wingback chair, Father standing with one hand on its curved back, Camille and Brianna flanking them on the love seat. Laura, Mother's voice breaks on my name. Her hands flutter toward Jenna, then drop without completing the gesture. "We need to talk about what you're doing to this family." Beside me, Jenna's portfolio rests against her leg. She sits tall, shoulders straight, chin lifted. At 17, she looks more composed than I ever managed at twice her age. What I'm doing? The words taste bitter. That's an interesting way to phrase it. Father's fingers tighten on the chair back. "You've always had a flair for drama, Laura, but this tantrum has gone far enough." Camille leans forward, designer bracelet catching the afternoon light. The wedding wasn't personal against Jenna. It was an adults-only gala dinner at the Ritz-Carlton to maintain the dignity of a 5-star hotel. Anyone under 18 is strictly prohibited. You know what these events are like. To maintain an elegant atmosphere, unexpected behavior and noise must be avoided. I answer quietly, "Did you think 17-year-old Jenna would behave unexpectedly? Or did you think her very presence would damage the elegant atmosphere? Right?" Brianna's voice drips acid. "But you've always had this victim mentality. Everything has to be about you." Mother dabs at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. "All our holiday traditions destroyed. Your father can't sleep. I barely eat. Is that what you wanted?" I let the accusations wash over me, noting each one like entries in a ledger. The same patterns, the same manipulation. But for the first time, I see them with perfect clarity. My hands remain steady in my lap. "Are you finished?" My voice comes out soft but carries to every corner of the room. Because Jenna has something to say. The shock ripples through them like a stone dropped in still water. Mother's handkerchief freezes mid-dab. Father's mouth opens, then closes. They never expected Jenna to speak. In their minds, she's always been a prop in their family drama, never its narrator. Jenna rises, unzipping her portfolio with steady fingers. The sound cuts through the silence like a knife. "I'd like to show you something." Her voice holds none of the tremor I'd feared. "My senior art portfolio. The theme is family perspectives." She pulls out the first piece, a watercolor of last Christmas dinner. The family clusters around the dining room table, faces warmed by candlelight. But at the edge of the frame, a small figure sits alone at a card table, fork suspended over a plate. The isolation radiates from every brush stroke. Mother's breath catches. Camille shifts on the love seat, the leather creaking beneath her. The next painting shows Easter brunch. Cousins hunt eggs on the lawn while adults chat on the patio. A teenage girl stands by the fence, camera in hand, documenting a celebration she's not part of. The composition draws every eye to that solitary figure. "This one's called Outside Looking In," Jenna says quietly. Piece by piece, she builds her case. Each painting captures a moment of exclusion through a child's eyes. The skill is undeniable, the emotion raw and true. The family portrait takes center stage, frames within frames showing empty spaces where relatives should be. Father won't meet my eyes now. Mother's tears have stopped, replaced by something that looks like real pain. This is what you've done, I say into the silence. Not with words, but with actions. Every Christmas card addressed only to Marcus and me. Every family photo where Jenna stands apart. Every gathering where she ate alone. Camille stares at the artwork, her perfect makeup cracking around the edges. I didn't realize, I never thought she could paint. Jenna's smile holds no warmth. See? There's a lot you never realized about me. Brianna surges to her feet. This is manipulation, using art to make us feel guilty about perfectly normal family boundaries. Normal? The word explodes from my chest. When was the last time you called her your niece? When did any of you send her a birthday card? Which of you knows her favorite color, her dreams, her fears? She's not blood, Laura, Mother whispers, but the words lack conviction. Neither is Marcus. I stand, resting my hand on Jenna's shoulder. But you never questioned his place in this family. A rustle from the corner makes us all turn. Aunt Dorothy pushes up from her armchair, her spine straight despite her 70 years, silver hair gleaming in the late afternoon sun. I made this choice 30 years ago with Thomas. She crosses to stand beside us. Chose my adopted son over my father's family traditions. Best decision I ever made. The question isn't whether Laura will come back to the fold. The question is whether you deserve to have her, and this remarkably talented young woman in your lives at all. Mother's face crumbles. Father's hand falls from the chair back. Even Brianna's anger seems to deflate. Jenna's been offered a full scholarship to Rhode Island School of Design. My voice fills the heavy silence. She'll be starting this fall. That's what real family does. Supports dreams, celebrates achievements. I gather my purse, noting how the parlor walls don't feel so confining anymore. We're not asking to be centered, just included. Respect is earned. Jenna and I are a package deal. We walk out together, heads high, leaving the portfolio displayed on the coffee table behind us. The family sits in disarray. Years of careful pretense shattered by a teenager's truth told in watercolor and oil. Are you okay? I whisper as we reach the car. Jenna pauses, her hand on the door handle. When she turns, her smile breaks through like sunrise after a storm. You know what, Mom? For the first time in that house, I really am. From February through May, the next 4 months, her heart heals along with the melting snow. She focuses on graduation and prepares for college. By the time the cherry blossoms bloom, and new green buds sprout, we've built new traditions with our chosen family. Jenna's art hangs proudly in the local gallery's youth showcase. Some family members begin to show small signs of change. Barbara starts calling once a week. At first awkward, but gradually she begins asking about Jenna's art in school. Camille sends art supplies. For the first time, she addresses them to my niece Jenna. But silence continues from William and Brianna. Their choice, their loss. On graduation day, sunlight streams through the auditorium windows, catching the gold tassel on Jenna's graduation cap. The principal's voice echoes through the space, but I barely register the words. My eyes stay fixed on my daughter, poised at the edge of her seat in the front row. Marcus squeezes my hand as Jenna's name rings out. And now, your class valedictorian, Jenna Matthews. She rises in one fluid motion, the confidence in her stride making my heart swell. The emerald green graduation gown flows behind her as she takes the podium. No hesitation, no glancing around to see who's watching, just pure presence. I scan the scattered family members in the audience. Barbara sits 3 rows back, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. Aunt Dorothy beams from her wheelchair in the handicap section. Rachel bounces her youngest on her knee. The empty seats where William and Brianna should be speak volumes. Jenna adjusts the microphone, her voice clear and steady. When people ask me about family, I tell them about seeds. She pauses, letting the metaphor settle. Some seeds are born planted in soil we didn't choose, but the most beautiful gardens often grow from seeds we plant ourselves. My breath catches. Marcus's arm slides around my shoulders. My mother taught me that family isn't about whose blood runs through your veins. It's about who shows up, who sees you, who chooses you again and again, even when it's hard. Barbara shifts in her seat. I remember her voice last week, hesitant on the phone. Laura, if you'll let me, I'd like to contribute to Jenna's art school expenses. A peace offering decades late, but sincerely given. Now it's time to celebrate, Jenna says. After the ceremony, we gather at Bellini's restaurant, the same place we celebrated when Jenna won her first art competition at 12. The familiar scent of garlic and basil wraps around us like a warm blanket. Dorothy holds court at the head of the table, her silver hair catching the light from overhead chandeliers. To truly seeing people for who they are, she raises her glass, eyes twinkling, and having the courage to stand by them. Camille arrives halfway through the appetizers, clutching a wrapped package. Her designer dress looks out of place among our casual celebration. I found this at an art supply store, she says, setting it beside Jenna's plate. The clerk said it's what serious artists use. Jenna opens it slowly, a set of professional oils in rich, vibrant colors. Thank you, Aunt Camille. Simple words, but genuine. Barbara watches the exchange, then pulls out an envelope. I have something too. Her hands tremble slightly as she slides it across the table. For your dorm room at Waverly. Inside is a check that makes Jenna's eyes widen. But it's the card that brings tears. The first one Barbara has ever signed. With love, Grandma. Our neighbor Mrs. Chen arrives with her signature almond cookies, the one she's been bringing to every Matthews family celebration since Jenna was 5. Rachel's kids cluster around Jenna, showing off the friendship bracelets she taught them to make last summer. The restaurant fills with real memories, not polite fictions. Later at home, in Jenna's bedroom, cardboard boxes wait to be filled for college. Art supplies, clothes, photos of chosen family scattered across her desk. Mom, Jenna's voice pulls me from my thoughts. She holds up a framed photo, the 3 of us at the beach last summer. Salt wind in our hair, genuine smiles caught mid-laugh. Remember what you told me when I was little, she asks. About how some people walk into our lives by accident but stay on purpose, I nod, throat tight. You didn't just adopt me, she says softly. You showed me what a real family looks like. How to build it, how to keep it. She tucks the photo carefully between sweaters in her suitcase. I'm taking that lesson to college with me. Barbara's check sits on Jenna's desk next to acceptance letters and scholarship offers. A bridge, maybe, to whatever comes next. William's silence remains a wound, but no longer a defining one. The next morning, Jenna hugs me tight in the driveway, car packed for freshman orientation. I'm not going anywhere, she whispers. Not really. I watch her pull away, Marcus's arm steady around my waist. The garden we've grown spreads out before us, not perfect, not traditional, but blooming all the same. Built from seeds we chose to plant, nurtured by hands that wanted to tend them. Some might call it letting go, but standing here watching my daughter drive toward her future, I know better. This isn't an ending at all. It's what happens when love takes root. When family becomes a choice instead of an obligation. When you finally understand that the most precious bonds aren't the ones you're born with, they're the ones you build day by day, choice by choice, until they're strong enough to weather any storm. We didn't lose a family. We grew a better one.